This is how you can build the strongest Ciaccona ever. Let's go through everything again and talk about the changes since her release, like her new Best Echo and team options. So devs, they put a lot of effort into her, like other than her facial expressions. If you do the normal 1, 2, 3 and then her 4th basic attack, bam, then she sings. But if you start a combo with a skill, so 1, 2, 3 and then 4, then she'll play her guitar, as you can see here, bam, the guitar. As for a jump combo, so jump and then 1, 2, 3 and then 4, and then she'll play this instrument here. And bam, there we go. So this is a pretty cool detail that a lot of people will probably miss. And of course, she has like her own custom dash here, as you can see. She has like this aura, so yeah, you can be aura farming with her. Alright, so first off, what even is Aero Erosion, or what does it do? It's like Spectre Frazzle. It does damage to the enemy over time, and the more Aero Erosion stacks that an enemy has on them, the more damage the stacks will do. But you also lose stack. What is the maximum amount of Aero Erosion stacks? The maximum amount of Aero Erosion stacks in the game right now is 3. Why is Aero Rover so important? Well, that is because you can increase the max amount of Aero Erosion stacks with his outro, which increases the limit by 3, so we will be at 6 Erosion stacks. Alright, first off, I just start by simplifying her kit. So with her basic attacks, she has a 4-hit combo that does aero damage. Stage 4 is where she slams into the ground, and then she applies 1 stack of Aero Erosion on the hit enemy. Summons a Sylph, which is basically a clone, and you also get a 4E stack. So yup, basic attack stage 4 is where everything is at. During the first 3 stages of her basic attack, if the combo gets interrupted by you dodging, then you just have to press the basic attack button at the right time, and you can continue your combo where you left off. Alright, so what does the Sylph do? It gives the entire team 24% aero damage bonus. You can summon up to 2 Sylphs, but the 24% aero damage buff is not stackable, so you'll only be getting a buff once. Oh, and don't worry about the range. This thing has a super long range. It's not only this small circle there. Like if I go all the way here, then yep, I still have it. And you know that you have the buff and your character is glowing. How do you know a Sylph has been summoned? Well, if you look at my 4E bar here, when a Sylph is summoned, then the leaf here turns green, it starts glowing, and I also get a 4E stack. So since she has 2 clones, she also has 2 leaves. The second one is on the other side of her 4A. And yep, when you summon a second clone, her other leaf glows too. So these clones will stay on field forever, or until you use her ultimate. Mid-air attack, she consumes stamina to do 2 attacks, dealing aero damage. After a second attack, do 2 basic attacks to do stage 4 of her basic attacks. So basically the 2 mid-air attacks are her 2 basic attacks. So jump 1, 2, 3 and then 4. There we go. Then we get the clone here. What's the fastest way of doing her basic attacks? Well, like I said earlier, whenever you get a 4E stack, she summons her copy. So that is where you can do a dodge or jump cancel and let her clone finish the combo. Alright, let me just show you guys how fast this is. First, let's just do the dodging one. Alright, let's just do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we can dodge. Alright, so spam basic attack until you get a 4A. There we go, and then dodge. As you saw the clone, finish the combo and did the ground slam for us. Alright, just show you guys again. There we go. But I like the jump combo more. So again, 1, 2, 3, jump. Bam. Easy. Oh, and don't forget about the mid-air attacks. Right, let me just show you guys how fast this is. So jump, 1, 2, 3, jump. Jump, 1, 2, 3, jump. Jump, 1, 2, 3, jump. Like, that's super fast, man. You gotta learn how to jump with her, guys. Like, it's OP. Alright, so heavy attack, she consumes stamina to jump, and then bam, aero damage. Aimed attack, so G, you aim, shoot, deal aero damage, considered as heavy attack damage. Dodge counter, as always, you dodge, attack, deal aero damage. Skill, so her skill is basically like Jan's skill. It can be cast in mid-air. She dashes, deals aero damage, and applies a stack of Aero Erosion onto the enemy. You can also interrupt any of these attacks with a skill to summon a clone, or use the skill and then continue your basic attack combo. So basically, skill 2, 3, and then 4. Bam. Ultimate, she summons 2 clones and deals an initial hit of aero damage. And then you can play this game where you press A for Spectre Frazzle or D for Aero Erosion. Once a circle hits this area, so you gotta time it, you can't move anymore and you're stuck in this position. So the only thing that you can do here is press ultimate again to end her ultimate early. Don't worry, you don't have to do this. Just switch off Ciaccona and she will apply the stacks automatically on her own. So yeah, she also does off-field aero damage, even if you picked Spectre Frazzle. Oh, and if you want her to apply Spectre Frazzle, when you switch off her, then then make sure to press the Spectre Frazzle button at least once before you switch off her. Otherwise, she will just apply Aero Erosion automatically by default. Oh, and if you press the wrong button and then switch back to her, then her ultimate will end. So yeah, you can't just switch back and then change whatever she applies. So make sure you get it right. She's also immune to interruption and takes 50% less damage. What's the difference between the on-field and the off-field ultimate? So when she's on-field, every successful circle hit gives you 10 conserve energy. Again, only when you're the one who's pressing the button, but if she's not on-field and presses the button herself automatically, then she doesn't get the conserve energy. Forte, she can have up to 3 4A stacks. How do you get 4A stacks? You can get 4A stacks from her basic attack stage 4 and also her intro. How do you get 4A stacks fast? The jump combo. So jump, basic attack 1, 2, and bam, next one is basic attack stage 4. And then you just repeat this. How do you use her 4A? When you have 3 4A stacks, you can do a heavy attack, which pulls all of the enemies, deals arrow damage, and applies a stack of Aero Erosion onto them. But yeah, you can also use this in mid-air. You can cancel her 4A with her ultimate or a dodge cancel as soon as you see the light. But if you cancel it too early, then yeah, it won't do damage and it won't work. Intro, she attacks the enemy, does arrow damage, and inflicts a stack of Aero Erosion onto the enemy. You can then do a basic attack, do basic attack stage 3, and bam, your next basic attack is basic attack stage 4. Outro, Aero Erosion damage is amplified by 100%. So how do you activate a character's intro or outro? Well, if you look down here, each character has another bar called the conservo bar. You don't share it. Everyone gets their own conservo bar and the value stays the same. When you change characters, you can fill up the conservo bar by hitting enemies with different attacks. So each attack gives you a different amount of conservo energy, which you can always see down here in the skill details. So yeah, ultimate gives 20, skill 15. You can always check it down here. And once you fill up the conservo bar all the way, all of your characters on the right will glow. And once you switch your character, the character who's leaving the field will activate their outro, and the character entering the field will activate their intro. Inherent skill number 1. When you use her ultimate, she gains a shield equal to 100% of her HP for 4 seconds. But if you switch off her, then she loses the shield. Inherent skill number 2. Her 4 is heavy attack, does 30% more damage. So how do you apply Aero Erosion onto the enemy? Well, her intro, basic attack stage 4, her skill, her 4 is heavy attack, and her ultimate all apply Aero Erosion to the enemy. If you're confused right now, then don't worry, you will understand her a lot better once we get to her rotations.
Come, ready? Sing a song, I'll be the light.
So when it comes to her skill priority, her ultimate is the most important one, since most of her damage comes from here. Next we have her 4A. Since her 4 is heavy attack, does a lot of damage. Basic attack, since you'll be using basic attack stage 4 a lot. And then we have the skill. As for the intro, you can leave it at 5 or 6, since it can get expensive with the weekly boss match here.
Let me hear what your heart is trying to say. Baby,
Alright, so when it comes to her weapons, her signature is of course her best option. It increases her attack by 12%. When you inflict Aero Erosion onto the enemy, you get 24% arrow damage bonus for 10 seconds. But that's not all. When you hit an enemy that has Aero Erosion on them, then she reduces the arrow resistance by 10%. So yeah, this weapon is great for her. It boosts her damage and the team's damage if the team is arrow. And of course, since the main stat here is crit rate, she'll be a lot easier to build. So this weapon is worth pulling if you want to max the damage for your arrow DPS. Next, we have her second best option, Carlotta signature weapon. It gives her 22% crit damage, but it only boosts her own damage. To be honest, I don't really recommend giving her this weapon. It's only 3% better than her third best option, the standard 5-star gun. And this thing here doesn't boost your team's damage at all. And when it comes to crit damage, well, she already gets that from her skill tree here. So yeah, it'll be harder to get a good ratio with her. Her third best option, or in my opinion, her second best option is the standard 5-star gun. It gives her 12% energy regen, so she will need less rolls on her echo. So easy build, and it increases the next character's attack by 10%. It's a perfect weapon for her, and it's also crit rate. The standard gun and also the standard sword are the best standard weapons in the game, and they're the most worth getting. Oh, and also when it comes to her signature weapon, it only boosts the damage of arrow teams. So outside of arrow teams, this is her best weapon. Next we have the Renacita craftable weapon at R5, so 5 copies, and again it only boosts her own damage. The Rivalistic Jet is another great option for her, or any other force or weapon that you have, like the Cadenza, which will also lower her field time and give you a lot of ER, but super low attack, so less damage. Here's a damage comparison between all of her weapons. When it comes to echoes, her best echo set depends on her team. So if you play her in a team with the Aero DPS, then give her the Gusts of Velkin set. But for any other team, you want the Moonlit Cloud set. This is better for our team since it boosts the next character's attack. So everybody will want this, and it also boosts the next character's damage by 12%, and it gives them energy. So yeah, best general set. So when it comes to the best forecast, well, she has two options now when it comes to the Gusts of Velkin set. The Kelpie and the old Fleur de Lis sword. So they both almost give the same buff. I mean, this one gives less arrow damage, 10%. This forecast is made for Aero Rover and Cartethyia. As you can see, they got another 10% arrow damage bonus. So 20% in total. Next, we have the new best forecast, the Kelpie. Yup, this does more damage. And it gives her 2% more arrow damage bonus. So yup, 12% in total. And some glacial damage, which she doesn't really need. Another good thing about this echo is that it triggers automatically when you outro with her. So you don't have to worry about using it. I sometimes forget to use her echo. And since you can't use any skills or echoes during her ultimate, yeah, I just lose the damage. Which one should you use? Well, if you already have a really good Fleur de Lis forecast echo, then it's fine if you just use that. But if you're new and you just started building her, then give her the Kelpie and your best friend the Heron on the Moonlit Cloud set. Let's get to the best main echo stats for her. So we're going with 4, 3, 3, 1, 1. So on the 4 cost, you want crit rate or crit damage, depending on which one you need more. On the 3 cost, double arrow, but attack is also fine. I mean, it's pretty close. And finally, attack on the 1 costs. When it comes to substats, you want crits, so crit damage and crit rate, attack percent and liberation damage bonus, and also flat attack. When it comes to recommended stats, you want at least 900 attack, 70% crit rate, 230% crit damage, and 120% ER. When it comes to her teams, well, since she amplifies and applies Aero Erosion, her best team is still Cartethyia, Ciaccona, and Aero Rover, especially if you have Rover's sword maxed, since it boosts arrow damage. So if you have Cartethyia, then yeah, Ciaccona is a must pull for you, like these two are made for each other. Now let's get to her new team. Iuno, Ciaccona, and Rover. Same story. Iuno is actually a pretty good main DPS, and Rover for the Aero sword buff. And then her last Aero team, Qiuyuan, Ciaccona, and Aero Rover. Next we have the Phoebe teams. So Phoebe, Ciaccona. As for the last slot, Spectre Rover is the best for the smoothest rotations and the Spectre Frazzle application, but Varina and the Shorekeeper can work here too. If you don't have Phoebe, then you can use Zani, Ciaccona, and Spectre Rover. So Ciaccona is here because of her Spectre Frazzle application, but yeah, if you have Phoebe, then use Phoebe. She would be better in this team. Ciaccona can be played as a main DPS too with Sanhua. Sanhua works pretty well for her, you know, fast rotation with the Moonlit Cloud set, and the basic attack damage jump is pretty good too. You can also use Alto if you have him built, but I would rather use Sanhua in this team. And then finally the usual Shorekeeper or Varina, they both work. Let's move on to her sequences, and I'll speedrun this in under 30 seconds. S1, skill gives immunity to interruption for 3 seconds. Basic attack gives 35% attack for 10 seconds. S2, ultimate gives team 40% air damage bonus. S3, skill gets another charge. Basic attack stage 4 gives another 40 stack, so faster rotation. S4, 4 is heavy attack and ultimate. Ignore 45% of the enemy's defense. S5, 40% liberation damage bonus, and characters within her ultimate's range take 30% less damage. S6, when you're in solo concert, she and the clones do arrow damage equal to 220% of her attack, considered as resonance liberation damage. So to be honest, I would go for her weapon before her S1, but she's fine at S0, like that's all that you need. S2 is a good stopping point though. Alright, let's get to her rotations. So you first start with the intro, and then you do 2 basic attacks, and jump as soon as you get a 40 stack, and then you do your usual mid-air attack 1 and 2, basic attack stage 4, and skill to cancel it. This is where you can use her echo, and you use her 4 is heavy attack, and cancel it when you see the light with her ultimate. If you're using her in the Aero team, then you can just swap off her, but if you're using her in a Spectre Frazzle team, then make sure to press that Spectre Frazzle key at least once before you switch off her, and then you have the usual outro. Pretty simple. So is she worth pulling? I mean, she's worth pulling if you want to max the damage of your Aero DPS, and if you have her signature weapon, then your Aero DPS will do even more damage. Well, she can work in Aero teams, Aero Erosion teams, and Spectre Frazzle teams, but her main use is still the Cartethyia team. So if you have Cartethyia, then yeah, she's a must pull. If you're still missing Asterites, then don't worry. Crew Games gave us extra codes to give away. You can join our Discord server, link in the pinned comment, and then go to the giveaway channel there to join the giveaway. They gave us a lot of codes, so yeah, I'll have to give away some every few weeks now. And you can also get a free to play play or forced to pay tag on our Discord server for free just by joining. You can use this tag everywhere. You can join our Discord server if you need help with anything in the game. You can ping the game helper role and you won't ever miss free asteroid codes or events, or if you need help farming echoes. If this video helped you, then you can help me by liking and subscribing, and yeah, have a wonderful rest of your day or night, and thank you so much for watching.